count on you on that as well. And counting on you, it means we're going to present you now some of the products we have been developing. And Andrea and I, we've discussed about some new products we can send you. So you can, of course, do your reviews if you feel like it, right? I mean, if you feel that would be interesting for your side as well to receive some of the new products and new features we are putting some of the DC UPS. I assume so, right? So that's why the invite. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So yes, we have been listening to the clients' feedbacks the past 2 or 3 years, right? I mean, the DCUPS, of course, that one was kind of the first model, so they started to give us a lot of feedbacks and improvement and stuff we could add to the DCUPS, and that's what we've been working on. Besides other new products, right? Some other features you can just complement within the rack, that being a DCDU, ACDU, the dry contacts. Andrea will show us. So just to have an idea of what we are focusing, and maybe if you can also give us your thoughts on each of the products and how you see the market, maybe some price target we would be looking at based on your experience within the telecom industry, right? If that wouldn't be asking too much, right? Mhm, 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 mhm.
Right.
Correct.
I will start the presentation with our new features of our best seller, this UPS, that is 48 volts, 10 amps. We will improve that with a new model that we will call SMDX. So this model will have three drive contacts for three inputs for sensor. You can put sensor like door sensor or smoke sensor or anything that is compatible with dry contacts. And there will be also one relay output, so we can command this relay remotely. You can power on, for example, a siren or a light or ventilation, external ventilation, and this will be improved for uh, remote command of this unit. Also, we will have AC voltage sensor. So in the version with the remote monitor, you will also have the voltage of the input of the unit. For example, 120 volts, 100 volts. So you will have the option to make alerts if AC voltage is too low or too high for the level of the path. So you will have the possibilities to understand if there is power on, what the voltage is there, is this kind of situation. And also we will improve the output connectors. We use now a bigger connector. I think this is the double of the size for people that like to put wireless more wireless or with big connectors. So this is also improvement in this product. And here is a cabinet that is with dry contacts in our product that is a heat exchanger. So the unit is reading if the cabinet have a fail or it's okay. And also there is a door sensor here. I think that can also monitor if the door is open or closed, for example. And in the next slide, here you can see, for example, the application of a door sensor. You just, it is not right, but you need to put a positive and a negative voltage to this working. But it's more, with this, it's more versatile because you can use 48 volts, 24 volts, 12 volts, and also you can use, for example, two contacts here to use as a sensor if someone robbery batteries or part of your bank, battery bank, you can use that. And there is I think this is the great news. It is start working yesterday. This is around 3 months, but I think it will be 3 weeks around. We will start to support lithium batteries. Not so lithium batteries, any kind of batteries. Because with this menu, you can choose the voltage of first voltage, observation voltage, how much current you put in the batteries, disconnect voltage. So if you have a different batteries or you want to put less voltage in a battery bank, you can do this with this remotely, So it will be a good improvement for, because batteries is not so cheap. So with these features, you can charge properly any kind of batteries. It will be great. Okay.
Okay. Oh, something which I should point out, I just remembered. ISP supplies seem to be the only guys that are selling this stuff, which I wish there was more companies that did. On their website, they're confusing people, which I think are affecting your sales. On their website, it says 5 amp hour max. They don't get that because that's not the case. I believe that with your product, the maximum charging current is 5 amps. But they've got it on their website on ISP supplies is 5 amp hour max, and that's confusing people. And they've said, well, I can't use that one because it'll only take 5 amp hour batteries. And I've had to correct them and tell them, no, that'll take whatever size batteries you want to put in it. It's just it only charges at 5 amps. So there's been, I've also mentioned it to ISP supplies, but they haven't updated it. It's costing you guys sales.
Okay, I'll recheck that and let Jonathan know about it. I haven't reviewed for a while now the description on each item, but I will recheck that and let them know about it. That's because at the end, of course, they need to understand they can put whatever battery size they want, right? So that it might take longer than they think, and then the ampere is just up to 5 amperes, but it's not the maximum capacity. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
For that.
So, and also we will have, I think, 2 or 3 months we will have the same unit with the same features, but with 25 amps. We are working in that around 1 year. So we will finish this project, and this new project will have also these our new features, dry contacts, and also lithium batteries capabilities. So it will be 2 or 3 months to be launched, this new unit with more power.
Okay.
Okay. Here is a new product that we are working. It's about for monitoring remotely the pump, it will have a 2 sensor and 1 relay. So one of this sensor is one light contact, one is a temp sensor, temperature sensor, and the third sensor is the same voltage sensor. Also, we will have an option that is a sensor, the relay get out and enter AC sensor, AC voltage sensor. So we have two different products. It supports a wide range of input voltage for DC. It is 10 to 60 DC. Our parameters using SMP protocol. So you have a web page to more install or monitor, and also have the parameters using SMP protocol. Okay. This product we think will be a very low cost product. I think the price will be around $50 or $75 per unit. No, I don't know if it's low cost in USA or Canada, but for us, for our market, is a very low cost. Okay. With this, here's just a design of the product, so you can use attach it here, for example. It is just one U of 8. You can attach this kind of in the cabinet, this screw fit, and also is here. Okay. And here is in my hand, you can see is very small product. It fits in any space that you have in the rack. Here is the most applications. For example, solar sites. You can use, for example, monitors the voltage of the batteries and set the relay to start automatically. If, for example, if you can choose your temperature or voltage, you can choose voltage. If voltage is below, for example, 48 volts, and the relay will be on. If voltage is above 54 volts, the relay is off. You can start remotely generator, for example. You can start. Here is the configuration. For example, for you have ventilation in the cabinet. You can also set a set point of temperature for that. In case you use the model sensors, you can also monitor AC UPS. You can monitor the voltage of the batteries, the AC voltage, and also temperature there, and monitor AC voltage. That is not very common to have this kind of sensor. It's a great application for this. Here is an example for a solar site that using, as I explained, you use the input voltage to monitor the battery voltage. And if this is below a level, you can just start the generator. And also you have a temperature there, and also you can, for example, monitor a gas sensor. This situation you can work with this problem. Okay.
Let me ask Sarah maybe, how do you call these products, Sarah? Because you have been trying to find out a name for it. I mean, how would you call?
Okay, how is it called? This product specifically would be called a site monitor.
Okay, site monitor.
Oh, and I've noticed a lot of spelling mistakes. So if you guys ever want me to proof marketing materials, send them to me and I'll proof them before you publish them.
Mm-hmm. Is it on the SNMP page or?
Oh, all over the place. Like right here, we've got start. There's a T missing here, so start the generator.
Okay, yes, application.
And the grammar as well. It should be automatically start the generator when battery is depleted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
and
Yes, again.
monitor the voltage of the battery bank or of a battery bank. Includes temperature sensor, includes door sensor. Yep.
Okay. So that will be a site monitor. And what do you think about the price in Vernomation? Like $50, $75? Is it a feasible price for the market?
Well, I think it's more than feasible. I mean, like, that's the whole thing is you guys have to make money on it, and I don't know what is it costing you to make it. It's what is it costing like about like $15-$20 to make it?
It's less for us around. We focus on, we take a lot of time to make this. It will cost around $20.
So then I'd be selling it for at least $60 US.
Okay.
At least, like I mean, like you could easily get $75 US for this thing, and then it'll still sell, and that's still reasonable. Because if somebody can find something like this, where they can hook it up to a solar site to monitor their charge controllers and that, then that'd be perfect. The only addition that would be very, very useful, especially at solar, is if there was some way to monitor current up to 60 amps. Or even design it so that it's got an inbuilt current monitor for up to 60 amps, but you can add an external current shunt. Because then what you can do is if the site is like a small site, because most of the small sites the WISPs are operating aren't going to push more than about 40 amps when they're running solar. But if you've got somebody who's running a much larger site, like up on a mountain or whatever, they might actually be pushing like as much as 100 or 300 amps for their charging, right? So the majority of sites won't need an external current shunt. They'll just need the inbuilt one, and that's it. And then that way, if you've got the voltage and the current, you can monitor what the actual time is, like what the remaining time is based on the load. So then when people are logged in or they're receiving notifications, it'll say, you have 3 hours remaining. But this is already awesome because you've got the auto start for the generator, you've got the site voltage monitor. As we all know, you can also, just with clever calculation, work out based on the amp hour and the voltage and a timer, a way to actually calculate how much runtime you have left. Yeah, but the current just really fine tunes it, right? So I mean, like this is something which a lot of people have wanted for a very long time. I know a lot of guys who are going to want these like right away. In fact, I've got a guy in Montreal who will probably grab a few as well. Because remember, there's a lot of guys that even at their small sites, the site is too small to justify them buying an ALGCom power supply. So they'll just go out and buy some Meanwell stuff, some cheap Meanwell stuff, right? And then they don't have proper monitoring. With this, they can install this, and they'll be able to monitor the site voltage.
There is also Typon system that have some kind of this, but I think it's more complete with more voltage currents or number of relays. I don't know. I think the price is $200. I think $200.
I think that's Tycon makes one. Tycon makes a very advanced one. It's a Tycon Site Pro or a site monitor, and it'll monitor the solar panels in, the load out, and the battery voltage. It does a whole bunch of stuff, and yeah, they're around 200 plus.
So let's show the last products. We are working also in this, products for, I don't know this for, if it's for cabinets or for power, the first product is DC distribution of DC energy. It have one input and 5 outputs with individual protection with fuse. You can put in your site and have the installation of each one of the equipments in each output. With this, you can, web installation, and you can install after this pre-installed, if you install today a bunch of the things, and tomorrow it will be running. You need to put one more equipment. It's more easy to install. Have more protection. This is for having your web very organized. And also, the second product is a fire injector. Maybe Amixa is the name in our country. It's you have three different models with four ports each one. So you can the part below, the connector below is data. The connector uh, above is data more power. So you can have, for example, 24 volts, 48 volts, or 12 volts. You can each model you can choose the voltage that you are power the radios.
Mm-hmm.
And also we have a CPU. This is our Orthodox organization, but probably we will have in American connectors. But what we are, this is in our line. This is we are selling for around 1 or 2 months. This is starting, and also this is also starting. But what we will ask for you is more about these three things with remote managing. What do you think about having this with functions, for example, on, off each port, or restart it remotely? And what do you think this kind of products with remote management for your clients or the market that you are working on?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so by the way, so up here, just note the correction first. So it'd be a managed DC PDU. That'd be the first one. The second would be a managed DC PoE injector, and yeah, and it's actually single voltage per bank. So when you hook it up, it's either one voltage or the other. You can't do dual voltage on that, right?
Um,
So like if you each one of these, there's only one input. So if you give it 24, it's 24. If you give it 48, it's 48, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And
No,
but
for the DCU, for the PoE.
for the PoE.
No, for the PoE, you have three modules, and you can use different voltage. You
Oh,
have the first one with 12, the second one with 24, and the third one with 48, or all the same voltage.
okay, but like, are they stuck at 12, 24, and 48?
No, you can do it as you wish. You just you feed on DC, but you can plug whatever voltage you want in each of the module.
Okay, perfect. And actually, when you power this the PoE injector, do you for management purposes, does it allow for PoE to power it, like to power the actual data, the brain?
I think we use for example the third model as the voltage of this voltage for also the it will be a board for management. So the board will be powered, for example, with the third module, not the first one or the second.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just thinking
Yeah.
that yeah, you can power it from anywhere. Okay, so
Mhm.
yeah, so that's the DC PoE midspan, or managed DC PoE midspan. That's going to be very popular as well because there's a lot of guys, one, can't get switches, and two, don't want to use switches. There's some people that will not use switches. Now, with this guy as well, is it going to have current and port status as well, where it'll tell you if the what the wattage is per port and if the port's shorted or not?
Uh, we, we think our first idea it will be simple, just on or off without the status. but we are collecting ideas, and I think our market has more potential to pay these futures than our markets that have more price idea in the product.
Okay, because even if it just has an overall current monitoring on the actual input port, that'd be very, very useful because you can say, okay, bank number one is drawing 30 watts. Perfect. Bank number 2 is drawing, 45 watts. Bank number three is drawing 75 watts. And it's just like, whoa, why is that so high? And then you've got at least an idea, and it's not a big deal to add a single current uh, uh, monitor, a current shunt on the input rather than every single port. So that could be something in the meantime if you want something simple and cheap. Although I know a lot of people are going to want to have the ability to monitor each port, they won't care. Even if you bring it out as it is, people are going to love that. And then as for the remote reboot bar, those things, everybody loves those. And the ones that are on the market right now are made by a company called Digital Loggers. So Digital Loggers make these three products here, which will give you an idea of what the current market price is. They charge a lot of money for theirs. Theirs are handmade in the United States. I think I've got one here. Oh, that's right. Mine's in the basement. Okay, so Digital Loggers Inc., DLI Inc. Now, for their AC PDU, like the one on the bottom, the basic one is $400, and the bigger one is $700. So, if you guys come in under that for something like this, that's actually like a managed PDU, you're going to steal the market.
But the 400 and 700 are manageable, right? AC video of theirs?
Yeah, in fact, just pull up a web browser on another screen and you can see them.
I'm looking for it on the web as well. They have the PO injector. Let me see if I find the AC PDU.
Do you think the UL mark for this product will be mandatory?
Sorry?
You think that UL mark will be mandatory for this kind of product for a CPU? UL listings.
The UL certification?
UL certification.
Yes, whether it's mandatory for AC equipment, because that's one of our concerns. That's why we haven't actually approached the US market with ACDU, because we are afraid it might need the UL certification.
I think, yes. Like the top two products, you don't have to worry about because they're low voltage. The bottom one, there's ways around it so that you can get it certified, but it'll be very, very easy to certify. One, as long as the data system, like the actual management interface, is completely isolated from the AC side, that's one way to get it passed easy. And the other way is, if you take a look at, I think you guys should buy a Digital Loggers power distribution unit, the basic power bar one. They've got one that's like a flat power bar. Take it apart and see how it's built, because I honestly don't even think that thing has a CSA or a UL certification on it. But you can take a look at how that thing's built and get an idea, at least, of what you'll need to do to guarantee that things are okay. But that will sell. And actually, one that's been a lot of people have been asking me about is a little two-plug Ethernet controlled PDU. Because what people want those for is they want a simple, cheap little one that they can plug their fiber NID into and then set it up with a ping watchdog so that if their NID crashes, that it'll power cycle the NID.
Right, I know.
Yeah. And then, of course, they'll also want it to have SNMP, and they'll want it to have a basic log that'll say, oh, rebooted device at this time, or power failed at this time.
Yeah, we can make a kind of this product with our little box here. It's possible to make this kind of product.
Yeah.
But it will be turn on and turn off AC or just DC? Or this product that you mentioned.
The one that like a 1 or 2 port, they're looking for an AC version. Because one of the problems that people have is that you'll have like Spectrum or Comcast or Cogent or whatever, and sometimes the NID will just lock up. So, so sometimes they don't need the entire 8 port. They'll just need something that's simple, that's like 2 port, so they can just plug the NID into it and power cycle the NID.
Okay. I'll take a note of this.
And then just quickly coming back to the PoE, do you think any demand for smaller ones, like 4 ports, 8 ports, or something?
4 port, if you made a 4 port, that would be probably a good basic model. I would make a 4, 8, and a 12.
Okay.
Because for the odd guy, there are still some guys out there that refuse to go DC, which, as you know, DC is the proper way in telecom. But there's still some guys that are like, I've been doing IT for 30 years and blah, blah, blah. And so you'll have like a switch for the sectors. You'll have like PoE packs, and like you'll have all sorts of stuff that needs to be properly connected to a PDU. So it adds up because there's the basic model is there are always going to be 4 sectors on a tower, almost always at least, and then there's usually going to be 2 backhauls, so that's 6 devices, and then a router and switch, that's 8 devices.
Okay, got it.
So, Lucas, have you more questions about?
No, I think that would be it. I mean, of course, the part of these 3 items being manageable, it is on our roadmap. It's just something about prioritize the project. Which one will start with the manageable version of it, right? We already have the 3 of them as they are, and we intend to have them maybe step by step or in a midterm, all of them manageable. And I think, just like I mentioned in the beginning, maybe Andre and I will have like a pack of some of these items, and send to you, Sarah, so you can have your feedbacks and maybe record some videos and give us your ideas and thoughts on it, right? Is there anything specifically you'd like to test with what you have at the moment or you're looking for?
Yes, actually, I really want to test that that site monitor, that little DC little black thing.
Okay.
So that's one thing which I would love to test right now. The midspan, if the midspan's not ready, that's fine, but the midspan would definitely be really popular as well. Basically, the DC stuff is most important. So, like this little guy up here, where's my where's my meeting controls? I should be able to draw on things. Annotate. So, like these guys for sure, definitely.
Okay.
But the one on the previous page, though, that's going to be a really big seller.
Side monitor. Okay. So we can focus on that. What about the 48 volts, 10 amperes DC UPS with dry contacts and the other features? How do you see it?
I can definitely, if you guys want to send me one of those, by all means, because I did want to get a second one to keep here in the lab. The other one's been sitting at my data center ever since I did the video on it, and it's been running.
Or something?
Sorry?
4 years ago? 3 to 4 years ago?
And it hasn't been touched since then. It is not a hiccup. And we've had some very, very, very bad power here. And the generator's been on probably about 30% of the time that it's been there. So, I mean, like, it has taken so much abuse and it is running so perfectly.
Great to hear that. And then we also have the 4825 amps, right? Andre, I'm not sure how soon we'll have it. Maybe we can send that the more capacity one, this UPS.
Yes.
Yeah, if you guys want to send me the super deluxe one, because what a lot of guys have been doing now is, I'll show you what they've been doing. Let's see here. Clear, close this. stop participating. Here, let me share my screen now.
Yes.
And I'll show you what some of the guys are doing now, because what they're doing is these guys, a lot of guys can't afford big stuff like the LTEC.
I know.
So, guys look at these things and they're like, oh, well, that's going to be like $3,000. And, oh, I need 220 volts here to use that. Oh, it's too big, So what they've been doing is they've been going on eBay and they've been buying the used stuff, because the 10 amps isn't always enough, especially if they're running LTE. Valair, or I think it's Valair.
Valair, yes. It's a company that Altec bought years ago. Yeah.
So people have been doing this. They've been buying these guys. Because, they'll find that the 10 amp just isn't enough. So they'll go out and buy one of these monsters, and they'll throw it in the rack, and then they're like, oh, it doesn't have breakers. Oh, it doesn't have this. It's like, no, that's basically a big battery charger. And so once you explain that to them, they're like, oh, okay. So this is what a lot of guys have been going out and buying. And then sometimes they'll buy whatever they can get, right? So this is 1,000 amps at 48 volts. So this one's definitely going to need 240 volts, right? So guys have been buying these guys here. Look at that. It's been modified for a 120 volt plug. So guys have been doing that. So the 25 amp will definitely solve a lot of problems, because that's going to give us about 1,000 watts. Yeah.
1,360. Is 54. Yes, this.
Yeah. But of course, whenever we monitor, we always just do a nominal. So you say 1,200, right?
Yeah.
And then at low, so at low, that'd be 46 times 25. Because if we went 1,300 divided by 46, we're at 28 amps. So that might overcurrent the device, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, that's beautiful. And let me just show you the other digital loggers. I don't know many guys that are actually using these right now, because they've all been switching over. But, this is the big one. It's ridiculously expensive. And it's for what it is, it's priced well. But one of the ones that a lot of guys use is, oh, look, they've got a gigabit now. They didn't have a gigabit before. There was only 100 meg. But,
okay.
That's silly.
So that's the one we would be competing with.
Yes. And then where is the DC? Nope, not that one. I want the power bar. This is the 100 meg one. Oof. It's funny that one costs more money. DC power switch. Okay, so this is the DC one that they've got. And $695. Three-phase DC 10. Trying to find where there. Oh, there it is. The Web Power Switch 7. This is the one here. This one's the popular one that a lot of guys are using right now. And I place an order. DLI Factory Direct. Where's the price? How much is the price? Yeah, they're not going to show it online, I don't think. But that's one of the current ones. And then there's the Smart PDU, these guys here. So that's the other one. Fully programmable, $189 or less. Order now. Okay, so this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ports.
Okay.
Oh, and it'll do 120, 208, or 240. That's cool. Nice.
Yeah, I think they serve as a target price for us.
Yes, this would be where you want to look to get your ideas, basically, on what the market value is for this stuff. So that's basically what they've got, right? And then the Taycan, this is what they've got. Measure 4 voltages, 4 currents, 2 temperatures, which realistically is way more than most site users need. What a lot of guys want is just a small, cost-effective module that'll tell them how much battery time they have left, their battery voltage. That's basically it. They just want to know, am I going to be good for a few hours? Or, oh, the power went out. That's basically what people want to know, right? So this one here is overkill. Remote control, 4 relays, MPPT charge controller via serial. So this thing allows you to monitor see, this is more stuff than they need. MPPT, it lets you monitor directly one of their charge controllers. Yeah, so like this is far more complex than most people need anyway. What's our price on solar panels? Don't know. Doesn't matter. So that's basically the big thing. So like this is the stuff that everybody's looking at. Where's our DIN rail mount one? Because there's DIN power supply. Here we go. Oh, that's it. So this one's $185. And so this is just a little mini PDU. It looks like it's an 8-port.
Right. I think this is possible to use any kind of energy, AC, DC, or
control any.
Okay, yes. Nice.
Yep. So that gives you a rough idea, but everything that you guys have made is exactly what people are looking for. So you guys have already done it. You've already found everything that these guys need. Oh, and before I forget, let me show you that ISP supplies.
Website.
Oh, nope. Here. This has cost you a lot of sales. Because a lot of people have seen that, and they've been like, you can only put 5 amp hour batteries on it?
Okay, you just need to find a way to make it more clear. Maybe in a description of the idea or something.
Oh, it's very, very easy. 5 amp maximum charging current. And then put up to 300 amp hour capable. And then that solves that problem, because the guys at ISP Supplies have been historically the guys at ISP Supplies will just kind of post an opinion when they don't entirely know about something. They'll very strongly explain something wrong. So one of my guys came to me and I told him that we can use this. And he's just like, well, it'll only do 5 amp hour. And I'm like, no, that's 5 amps maximum charging capacity. He's like, well, no, it says right on the website, 5 amp hours max. I'm like, that's wrong. What do you mean it's wrong? They put it on the website wrong? And I'm like, yes, it's wrong on the website. So there's been a lot of people who have looked at that and said, oh, it only does small batteries. That's useless.
Okay, yes, I'll make sure to correct that.
And you're going to have a lot more people that want the non-SNMP version than want the SNMP version. But I'm sure you guys have already seen that with the numbers that you guys are pushing out.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, because the big thing is that this is worth it. Like, for $790, that's pretty good. I mean, like, that's worth it, right? That's where it should be. But the thing is with a lot of the companies that don't have a lot of money, they'll spend the $350 to $400 on the non-SNMP version and just rely on their MikroTik. Or in this case here, the additional smaller module just to keep an eye on things, right? And I'm not saying reduce your pricing. You guys need to make profit. Otherwise, you'll never survive as a company. But this is the beautiful thing about having the range of products that you guys have.
We have different clients for different products, right?
Exactly. And that's where you're kicking butt.
Great. So I do appreciate all of the feedbacks and comments. I'll sure check with ISP to change the description of these items and already do some review on the other products on antennas and racks to see if everything is okay.
Yep.
Thanks also for the target price. We'll sure review more about this company, the digital loggers. I think that will serve as a north for our prices. And maybe I'll check with Werner about the products and see how soon we can send you at least a DCDU, the DC UPS with higher capacity, and the side monitor. I think that will take a while on the side monitor, but the other ones I think we can send you sooner.
Yes.
Sure.
We are working in the plastic mode of the product. This is not ready for send to you. We are working more in the
it was a 3D printed, right?
Yes. But we can send, I think, 2 or 3 products that is where is working on.
Okay. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So thanks, Sarah, for your time and feedback again. You'll hear from us soon. As soon as we have these samples and try unities, we'll sure send it to you, and then you can give us your honest feedbacks, right? On trials and testing on your laboratory.
Of course, as always.
Great. So thanks, Sarah, and thanks, Andre, as well.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah, for your time, your attention with us. And we will take your ideas in our products conception for, this is, I think, great ideas and great suggestions of companies that we can inspire from these products. And we will send to you to test as a gift because it's great having our review, sincere review of our products.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Great. Thanks. Take care.
Thanks, guys. It was nice talking with you again.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. We'll catch you later.
Sure. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.